Forecast. I'm Joseph, the host of the UFC Forecast, and we're back for UFC Paris. And this is a full card early predictions and betting breakdown. In the main event, we got top-ranked heavyweights Ciryl, Gane, and Serghei Spivac with title implications on the line here. And this card has 7 debuting fighters, a lot of fighters from Paris. And I'm telling you right now, this is not the card to go all in and go heavy on bets. This is definitely a week that we gotta go light, because coming up we got UFC 293, and there's definitely more safer betting opportunities on that card. But before we get into UFC Paris' predictions, let's go over UFC Singapore. I went 11-2, I absolutely crushed it, and I'm gonna go through this recap quite fast here. First, I want to talk about Rolando Bedoya. I told you to lock him in, and that was a bad decision by me, and right away I'm going to pull up my bets up that I had on him here. He was the only one I needed to cash these 2 tickets, and that would have been nice if that would have hit, but unfortunately he lost that fight by a decision. Kenan Song cashed as a pretty big underdog, 350 I think it was. So a lot of us got caught betting on a green prospect that we just relied on his durability, and we never seen much of him yet, so he was a huge favorite. I had high confidence in him, so I'm very sorry for that. And on my big $150 card, I'll pull this one up too. Rinya Nakamura could not get the finish in the main event. Like, in my opinion, I thought he should have got that done by finish if he was like some special prospect. But I don't think he's that special. I know a lot of people think he's a very good wrestler, and yeah, I think he is a good wrestler. I also believe he can beat a lot of guys in the division, but if we're talking top 5 and championship caliber, yeah, he's not that guy. He definitely should have finished Fernie Garcia if he was going to be this next big prospect, future champ ordeal, but I don't think he's that, man. I don't think he's that special, but you guys can rip into me in the comments below. I don't really care, because we're definitely going to find out if he gets exposed or not in the near future. And on the main card, the only one I had wrong was Alex Caceres, my dog of the week. I took the stab at the underdog. It went the distance. Some people thought Caceres won that, but I watched that fight. Caceres didn't win a fucking round. It was pathetic. He just fought to the level of Jija. Jija 2.2 is activated and he looks pretty fucking good. That was a bad mistake going against Jija. I knew he was going to be the better striker, but I thought Caceres would mix in the grappling. Like, I was fucking pissed off that he wasn't trying to mix in the wrestling. He wasn't trying to get a submission, anything like that. He was just fighting to the level of Jija, and I knew if he did that, he was going to lose. I had to take some losses because I cashed in really big on Junior Tafa. I switched my pick. I put on the tinfoil hat, and I said he was going to get it done in round 1, and he smoked Parker Porter round 1, and I had a big bet on that for the Patreon members, and we all cashed in. It was easy work, and we made quite a bit of bread at UFC Singapore too. Billy Goff, he was an underdog on the prelims. I didn't mention that. He got it done as well, round 1 KO. I bet him by knockout as well for the Patreon members. So it was a very successful night for the forecast, and then my lock of the week, a very good value pick, Anthony Smith, got it done by split decision. I said the UFC is going to put him in a spot here to win against a guy he already beat in round 1 by submission. He couldn't find the finish. He almost got finished, but then they gave him the win. And the judges even had to do some math, so I don't know what that's all about. Like I said, the UFC wanted him to win in this spot, and I think they just gave it to him there by split decision because, in my opinion, I thought Ryan Spawn won that fight. I know Skinny Betts as well. If you guys know him, he thought Ryan Spawn won that fight, and his big bet was on Anthony Smith. So if you look at Skinny Betts' bets, and if you look at my picks, man, like, I pretty well had all the same picks as Skinny Betts, but if I would have placed my money a little bit differently, I definitely could have made a fuck ton of money on this card. Like I said, I was 1 off on Bedoya, and then 1 off on Rinya Nakamura for a finish. And in the main event, we had Max Holloway showing us why the blessed is best. And like I said, he was going to get that knockout shot on Korean Zombie. TKZ said, I'm going to go out swinging in the 3rd round, and Max Holloway capitalized. I love that. That was super easy money, and a lot of people thought it was going to be a decision, trying to chase that value. And a lot of people were chasing underdogs on this entire card, but I just tried to play it smart and be successful, and it ended up working for me, so I'm looking to do it again here at UFC Paris, looking to make some more bread for the forecasters. And before we start it off, I just want to bring up that it's going to be a tough time pronouncing some of these names. I know someone in the comments section below was trying to start some beef with me, saying I hope it's a joke with you pronouncing some of these names, whatever it is. I usually don't bring up the beef and all the hate comments. I usually delete them right away, but like, fuck you, man. I went 11-2. I made a bunch of people money last week, and I'm doing this for absolutely free. I'm doing this all solo. I don't have a co-host anymore, Loaf. Nobody knows where he's at. So please just give me a little break on the name pronunciation. And before we get into it, smash the hell out of that like button. Suplex the subscribe button. I really appreciate that support. We're going to crush it again here at UFC Paris. I guarantee it. We're going to start it off with the prelims now. And we got a bantamweight bash between Farid, Basharat and Kleydson, Rodrigues. And Kleydson Rodrigues is making the move up to bantamweight here. But he's fighting a guy that's 10-0, who's training with guys that are top level, including his brother, Javid Basharat. The Basharat bros are going to beat a lot of guys, in my opinion. One of them could be a champion. I don't know. These guys just constantly are improving, and I like what I'm seeing from them. And at this price tag, he's a clear pick in this fight. Kleydson is moving up to bantamweight. He previously fought at flyweight, and he lost to CJ Vergara by a split decision. His last win was against Shannon Ross by a knockout round 1. He comes out there all pressure. He's looking for the brawl. And after round 1, I'm fairly confident Kleidson's going to take the foot off the gas. He's going to start to gas out. And Farid Basharat is absolutely going to take over in this spot. His last win was against Damon Blackshear, who has good grappling defense. He still found some takedowns in that fight. He has great control, but for the most part, he wants to keep this fight on the feet. He's super technical, super accurate. He has a 63% striking accuracy and a 60% striking defense. He has an incredible offense and defense. He's going to be very tough to beat. And I forecast Kleidson's going to have a tough debut at bantamweight, but he is a dog, man. He does fight for your money. I just don't see him beating Farid Basharat. He's way too good technically. He has a 4-inch reach advantage in this fight. Averages 3 takedowns at a 60% accuracy, but he has no power in the hands. He has 1 knockout win, which is kind of surprising considering how good of a striker he is. And that win was against an 0-2 opponent, so I don't believe he'll find a finish in this fight. He has 5 submissions as well, but 6-5 opponent, 16-12 opponent. He's just dominating guys by a decision like we've seen against Damon Blackshear and in the Dana White Contender Series, an 8-2 opponent. He's just dominating these guys. For 15 minutes, Rodrigues will have a tough time closing that distance. He already has a loss at flyweight, which isn't a good look, and definitely a tough debut at bantamweight. And next up in the welterweight division, we got Ange, Loosa, and Rhys McKee. And McKee has been in the UFC before. He got cleaned by Khamzat Chimaev, and then he lost the decision quite dominantly to Alex Morono. And like in this fight, they're giving him a chance to come back to the UFC against a tough guy in Ange Loosa who's never been finished. And McKee has a 100% finish rate, and I don't believe he's going to find the finish here. He's the Cage Warriors champion, and we just seen a Cage Warriors champion get exposed in the Dana White Contender Series. I don't think they're all that hype. I don't think McKee's is going to win in this spot here. Ange Loosa's super durable, man. He has fought good competition as well. He beat AJ Fletcher by a decision. And one of his decision losses was to Jack Della Maddalena, who could not find the finish against Ange. Like I said, he's super durable. McKee has no chance of finding a finish in this fight. If he does, it's an absolute fucking fluke. Ange Loosa is a fairly confident pick for me. He's a physical specimen that hits super hard. He's going to keep this fight on the feet with the 100% takedown defense. And one thing to note as well, he's training at Kill Cliff FC. And I'm telling you guys right now, the guys that train at Kill Cliff FC are super high level. And they have been getting the job done. We just seen Keenan Song, who just made the transition to Kill Cliff FC, get the job done last week. So when I see a guy that's training at Kill Cliff FC, I'm super confident in them. And Ange Loosa is training there. And next up, we got a dogfight between Zarah, Fairn, and Jacqueline Cavalcanti. However you pronounce her name. She's from Portugal. She's 5-1. She's 26 years old. She's going to be 10 years younger than Zarah Fairn, who's 6-5. But she survived against Joselyne Nunes, but she got beat up for 15 minutes there. She slowed down in that fight after the first round. And she got knocked out to Felicia Spencer and got submitted to Megan Anderson. 2 girls that are pretty decent in the division. I believe both those girls have fought for the belt, so the last 3 losses for Zarah Fairn actually are not that bad at all. The odds are way too wide in this fight, especially for a girl that's debuting. I do not like betting on these debut fighters, and we got 7 of them. 7 debut fighters. So I'm going to be steering away from bets on anybody that's debuting, but the underdog value in Zarah Fairn, I see the opportunity for her to win this fight. From what I've seen, she probably can't put it on in the 2nd and 3rd round like she's going to have to against a young, hungry prospect like Jacqueline. Jacqueline probably will be the play here by a decision. Her last fight was 5 rounds with a 4-2 opponent. Was not able to find the finish, but she has great cardio. She's 10 years younger. Like, she's going to push the pace in this fight, and I can definitely trust her to have the better gas tank and to be more hungry. But Zarah Fairn is live here. She hits heavy, but she absorbs a lot. It's in France. You never know what the judges are going to do here. For the sake of the odds, I'm obviously going with the favorite here, but I'm just warning you, do not parlay this one. And don't be betting on these fucking debut fighters. Let's just take some notes. As you guys can see, like, I got lots of notes this week. And there's a lot of notes telling me not to bet on this fight. It's not worth betting or putting these debut fighters on your top tickets unless you have a really good read or you watch some tape study on these debut fighters, because that's what it's going to take, a lot of tape study this week. You got to be cautious this week with parlays because you don't want to get caught with these big debuting favorites. And next up, we got another women's fight between another debuting fighter, Nora Cornolle, and she's fighting Joselyne Edwards here. Joselyne has all the experience in this fight, and she's going to be 5 years younger. Not really sure how this France prospect is getting a chance at the UFC at 6-1, fairly green, and 33 years old. Her last loss was to Jacqueline Cavalcanti, the girl we just broke down. But Nora Cornolle, her 6 wins, 5 knockouts. They're all fucking low level. 4-3, 0-1, 12-12, 1-1. They're all winnable fights. They're all tomato cans. Like I said, I don't know how she has got this debut fight, but I don't believe she's going to get it done in the debut against a seasoned UFC veteran, Joselyne Edwards from Panama. She's a high-volume technical striker, and I can definitely rely on her to be the better striker in this fight. Keep it at distance, keep it on the feet, and dominate a debuting fighter who's 5 years older than her and probably shouldn't be here. And next up, we got a fight in the bantamweight division, Taylor Lapilus and Muin Gafurov. Hopefully I did good pronouncing those names for you guys. Don't be bitching at me in the comments. Taylor, he was in the UFC before, and he was 3-1. Didn't do too bad, but pretty low-level competition. And he's getting another crack at the UFC after winning his last 5 fights, 3 of them by a decision. And actually, his last fight was against the Aries FC current champion, who's 14-1. So, man, he's fighting pretty good guys. His losses come to 2 Russians, 20-3, 13-2. Like, pretty good Russians as well. Like, he's not fighting slouches whatsoever. And then you got Muin Gafurov, who lost a unanimous decision to John Castaneda, showed he has terrible cardio, and if he can't get takedowns, he's just shooting desperately. And this is another fighter, I believe, after round 1, he's going to take the foot off the gas. He's going to be pretty well done. Cardio is going to start dumping. He has fucking a 5-inch reach disadvantage in this fight, so it's going to be a tough time for him to close distance as well. So I'm going to go with the guy with the big reach advantage here, who looks like a more physical specimen, and who's probably going to hit a lot harder, can keep this fight on the feet as well. He's fought Russians, and he has an 80% takedown defense. I can rely on him to keep this fight on the feet and beat Muin Gafurov here. John Castaneda, Sexy Mexi, just beat Muin Gafurov, so we know Muin has terrible cardio, and after round 1, he's pretty well donezo. And next up, we got the prelim headliner for now, and it's 2 debuting fighters. Hopefully they find a different prelim headliner because I don't want to watch 2 debuting fighters fight here, but these guys could probably bring the heat. They're 2 very good strikers, and I expect this fight to be super explosive, but we haven't seen much of either guy. Both of them super green. One's 27, one's 26, so they're both at a pretty decent age in their career, getting a chance at the UFC here. And one guy's a huge favorite, one guy's a dog. And the guy that's a dog, will break him down first. He has 8 knockouts, only the 1 submission and 1 decision win. And he won his last 2 fights by KO against a 9-5, 12-13 opponent, so not the best level competition. He has a knockout against a 2-5 opponent as well. So I don't know if his power is going to translate against 19-9-1 Morgan Charrière, who's going to be more seasoned, I believe. Like, I don't really know. Like, they're 2 debuting fighters. From what I see, Morgan has fought the better competition, better records on these guys, and he's going to have the better footwork. He shouldn't have any moments in this fight where he's just standing there with his hands down. I expect him to be moving around, being athletic here, and avoiding that knockout shot from Manolo Zecchini. And like I said, Manolo has fought low-level competition at a low-level scene too, like Venator FC. I don't even know what the fuck Venator FC is. Never heard of it. He's obviously plus 200 for a reason. Obviously, the France fighter's probably going to fly in this fight, get the job done. But this is another one where I'm not really sure if I want to parlay it. I don't feel that safe about the pick. I'm just picking the favorite, picking the France fighter here. I expect him to get it done. And if you haven't yet, please smash that like button. Suplex the subscribe button. I really appreciate that support. And if you want to join the Discord for absolutely free, I'm going to give away $500 once I hit 500 subscribers. I believe I'm close to like 415 subscribers now. And this is video 99. So next video is number 100. And I'm going to do a Dana White Contender Series Week 4 video. And I'm also going to be doing a video very soon on opening some UFC cards, so hopefully you guys come check that out. And if you want access to my bets, platinum picks, and forecast forensic, just join that Patreon. It's only $5 a month for exclusive and early access. And right now I'll pull up last week's platinum picks. And this is what it looks like. I give my pick, my confidence level, and how the fight will finish. And this week I'm definitely more confident in my main card picks than the prelim picks, so let's get right into it. The main card for UFC Paris, and we're starting it off with two debut fighters again. Yanis Ghemmouri versus Kaylin Loughran, and I'm sorry I probably butchered one of those names. Loughran is 8-0, he's the Cage Warriors champion, and he's a huge favorite here. And Yanis has a lot of experience, he's from France. Like I said, we don't know what the France judges are going to do here, and I advise everybody to be super careful. And in this fight, Loughran's going to have to close the distance. He has a 3-inch reach disadvantage, and he's usually flat-footed waiting for the other guy to come to him, and he's just loading up on shots. He should have a grappling advantage in this fight if the fight goes to the ground, but if it stays on the feet, I think Loughran will have the more power, and that's why he's the favorite here. Yanis at 12-1 does look fairly good, but he's fought low-level cans as well, like 10-6, 11-6, another 10-6, a 4-5, 0-1, 3-3. If these fighters have a good record and they're debuting, the first thing I do is look into their opponents, see how good they are. And Ghemmouri has been fighting absolute tomato cans, and that explains why he's such a big underdog in this spot. He's likely not going to beat the Ireland prospect, who the UFC likely wants to win here. He's undefeated, and I know the UFC wants to try to get more Ireland UFC fighters in there. And next up, we got William Gomis and Lucas Almeida, and now it's time for the tinfoil hat to make a return to the show. I'm taking my underdog of the week here, Lucas Almeida. His last fight against Pat Sabatini, he fought a very good grappler and got caught in a submission. But there's no way I see William Gomis having a better defense than Lucas Almeida's offense. Almeida's going to be super hungry to get back on track after that loss. And Gomis has just been squeezing by with these wins. A split decision with Francis Marshall in his last one. And then he had that majority decision with Gennaro Aarons. He just edged out two fights that he nearly lost, and I think his luck has ran out here against Lucas Almeida. And next up, we got a light heavyweight fight between Volkan Ozdemir and Bogdan Gazkov. And Gazkov is dangerous, he is violent, he looks scary. He has 10 out of 14 wins in round 1, but his level of competition is extremely low, and I don't know if he's going to beat a guy like Volkan Ozdemir. Ozdemir has fought very good competition. He has a knockout loss to Yuri Prohaska and DC, and then he has a decision loss to Magomed Ankalaev, Dominic Reyes, and Nikita Krylov in his last one. Those are all very good losses to have. He definitely has the experience here, and his nickname is No Time because it doesn't take him much time to find that knockout shot. He's super quick with lots of power. 12 out of 13 wins are in round 1, and this is a round 1 fight, I believe. I think Volkan might surprise a lot of people, find that knockout shot in round 1. He is a very durable guy. A lot of people don't give him credit for his durability. I've watched tape on this fight. I don't think Bogdan Gazkov is going to have the success that he did against those tomato cans. I think he's getting clocked round 1 in no time here. Volkan has experience, and Bogdan was knocked out once before in the first round to a guy that is 36-9 who got knocked out to Albert Duraev. So if you lost to a guy that got knocked out to Albert Duraev in round 1, I mean, you're going to have a fucking tough time against my guy Volkan Ozdemir, who has heavy fucking hands, great durability. No time, he's going to get that knockout shot. Next up, we got the lock of the card, Benoit Saint-Denis against Thiago Moises. Benoit Saint-Denis, he's the god of war. He's a former French special ops. He has a 100% finish rate, and he's going to fly in this fight, get the job done. I am 100% he gets the job done. If he doesn't, I will do a pants beer for you guys. If you guys don't know what a pants beer is, it's when you pour beer in your pants, quite literally, and I will do it because Benoit Saint-Denis should not lose in this fight. He's on a roll right now, finishing everybody. And Thiago Moises, I know he's tough. He can likely survive for 15 minutes, but he ain't going to win, that's for sure. He's going to get outstruck. He's going to get taken down and controlled in this fight. He can get out of submissions, but he can't stop takedowns. He has a bad takedown defense, and he has a bad striking defense. This is Benoit Saint-Denis all day long. He was priced as a slight underdog earlier in the week, I seen, like 195. Now he's 166. So we lost some value in our lock, but I'm 100% this week that he's going to smash Thiago Moises. And next up, we got a big fight in the women's flyweight division between Manon Fiorot and Rose Namajunas. And I'm going to take some liquid courage before I break this one down. This has title implications on the line, just like last week. Erin Blanchfield off and Talia Santos. And Erin Blanchfield got that one done for us, luckily. In this one, I think the favorite will get it done again, but this one's more wide of a favorite. She's going to have more volume on the feet and constantly be pushing the pace in this fight. She can mix in the takedowns as well. Rose's last fight against Carla Esparza, I know was the champion, but fucking low output. She put up 30 strikes in 25 minutes. Manon Fiorot, She has put up over 100 strikes in 15 minutes. This is just a pretty obvious pick for me here. I know a lot of people are going to take the underdog shot at Rose here. She was the former champion. She has 2 wins over the current champ, Weili Zhang. Like I said earlier on the show here, I advise you guys to watch a lot of tape before you make some bets on this card. I watched an interview as well on Rose, and she just doesn't seem as motivated as she used to. She already won the belt at strawweight. Now she's going to move up to flyweight. Like, she just doesn't have the same motivation as she used to. And Manon Fiorot, I believe she's going to be a lot more furious and hungry in this fight, looking to get the job done here. I don't think it's going to be a finish. I think she will just dominate her for 15 minutes long here. I expect a lot of people to take the shot at Rose here, but I'm not getting caught chasing underdogs on this card. I'm going to keep it smart, and I'm going to stay successful. Let's keep her going. And now it's time for the main event with title implications on the line again. Ciryl Gane versus Serghei Spivac. And I was back and forth on this fight. I slept on it. I've thought long and hard, and I'm going to go with the favorite, Ciryl Gane here. He's going to be the more technical striker. He's a lot quicker too, and I believe he can avoid the takedowns here. Against Ngannou, he got taken down, and John Jones, he got taken down, but those are 2 high-level guys. Serghei Spivac averages 5 takedowns, and he had 6 takedowns against Derek Lewis. Lewis was able to pop back up and continue to work to his feet, and if Lewis can do that, I guarantee you Ciryl Gane can as well. And when it's on the feet, Gane's going to be searching for that knockout shot. He wants to make a big statement here in Paris. He has 5 knockouts, and he also has very dangerous elbows. Serghei Spivac, we've seen him get knocked out twice. Tom Aspinall and friggin' Walt Harris in round 1. And when it's on the feet, Gane is going to pick him apart. He's way too quick, fights off the jab. And I also expect Gane to spam leg kicks in this fight, attack Serghei Spivac's legs, keep it at distance the best he can, because if it's at distance, you're going to absolutely strive here. Gane is going to probably knock him out or win by a decision, in my opinion. It just comes down if he's worked on the takedown defense or not, and I believe he has. He should win here in France if it goes the distance as well. Judges are going to love Ciryl Gane in this spot. And that's it for the early predictions and betting breakdown for UFC Paris. If you haven't yet, smash that like button and suplex the subscribe button. Once I hit the 500 subscribers, I'm going to give away $500 in my Discord. So please join that. I post my lock, my dog, and my prop of the week out there early in the Discord for everyone. We have a great community going and growing, and I hope to see you guys there. If you want to join my Patreon and get exclusive and early access to my bets, the link's in the bio below. It's only $5 a month. I really appreciate the support, and we're ready to make some bread here in Paris. Let's go get it, forecasters.